Welcome back to the Caregiver Minute, where every weekday family and professional caregivers gather to refine their skills, gain inspiration, and prepare to serve. Just a couple of generations ago, when summer break was upon us, children might be heard to say things like, "No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks." Well, this time of year, those students are getting ready to go back to school. And unfortunately, some adults among us are saying, "At least I don't have to have books and pencils and teachers' dirty looks." I know far too many people who got to the end of their educational experience, whatever that was, and said, "Thank goodness I'm done with that and I can move on with the rest of life." Well, I think that's terribly tragic. In fact, a Pew Research study from just a few years ago showed that the median number of books the average adult reads in a year is 4. Half the population reads less than 4 books a year, and the other half reads more. In fact, CEOs on average read about 60 books per year. Isn't that interesting? CEOs tend to be very busy people as they're keeping their companies going. How on earth do they find time to read all that? Well, maybe they make the time because they recognize how critical it is to keep learning. You can't solve big problems without digging deeper and looking for new solutions. I think all of us would get further by continuing to further our education, instead of thinking that education is something that we do and check off a list and then move on with the rest of real life, whatever that looks like. I believe and I have experienced that life is richer when we're continually learning and looking for new answers. Part of why I make the Caregiver Minute is so that we have a place to come to learn just a little something new every day and have a little bit of motivation to keep on going. So take today's episode as a little bit of encouragement from me to stay motivated and keep on learning just a little bit every day. Now, how is it that CEOs and others who are very successful in their lives are able to read so much and just continually be learning, while the average person is really struggling with that? I was asked this just a few days ago by a young man who wanted to learn more, wanted to do better, but he said, "I'm just so busy. How do you find the time, Eric? I mean, you're running a company, you're busy with your family, you have other responsibilities. How do you do it?" Well, for starters, it takes me 15 minutes to drive to my office and 15 minutes to drive home. If I listen to an audiobook or a podcast or a lecture, that is 30 minutes a day. And I'm here to tell you that adds up very quickly. If I do the same thing when I'm driving around to other appointments, or if I'm walking through an airport, or if I'm exercising, I can do a whole lot of educational listening. I have a friend who calls it Automobile University, and it's one of the best discoveries anybody can make. If you just leverage some of the time that you would otherwise spend maybe listening to the radio or listening to music or watching some television, you have all the time that you need to read a ton of books every single year. And if you don't like books, maybe it's podcasts, maybe it's educational material of another sort. But there is time, if we're looking for it and making the time, to continually be learning. And if we're asking better and better questions all the time and looking for answers to those questions and being interested in the people around us, we're going to get further. We're going to make more connections. So maybe it's time that you and I go back to school along with the kids around us. Let's hit those books and let's be grateful for the teachers around us and how hard they work to help elevate all of us. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow as we learn something new on another episode of the Caregiver Minute.